Boom, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy JayJay The Barber. Today we got a tutorial video. It's gonna be a high taper. Alright, let me actually move this out the way. Be a little bit better. And I need focus. There we go. Alright. So we're starting off with a number 10. This is number 10 on top. Guard close. We're just going against the grain, knocking everything down to a very even length. If you don't have a 10 guard, you can get these 10 guards they're on Amazon. And they fit basically any clipper. Any regular clipper, I guess you could say, like wall. I guess the only clipper it won't fit is the Masters and then the Oster fast feeds. Alright. So we're gonna start with the neck taper, and I take my Cocoa liners and I put that line in a little bit below the earlobe on both sides. That's kind of how I go about measuring it. And then we hit it with the foil shaver to knock all that down. So first things first, we're actually gonna debulk the hair right now, okay? And when we're debulking this hair, I'm adding a little bit of curve to it, like this, a little smiley face curve to it. The reason I do that is because I don't like long necklines. That's just me, okay? Now, same thing with the no guard lever open with the wall vapors. Kind of like the same deal. This nice little smiley face kind of deal going on. Once we do that, we close the lever halfway, and we're going right up underneath where we left off. And then we close the lever all the way, and then we get the line out. Okay, so let me pause this so I can explain to you guys what I'm talking about, just in case you guys missed it. All right. So lever open, no guard, all the way. Our first guideline was here, right? Okay, we close the guard a little bit, and we go all the way up underneath that line there. Okay. Uh-oh. What the fuck? Okay. Then after that, so we got lever open, lever halfway, lever closed to get that line out. All right. Boom. Hopefully that makes sense for y'all. And then if there's any line underneath that, we will take our trimmers again, like I'm doing now, to get the bottom line out. Okay. So now, this is the half guard lever open, and we're gonna go up a little bit. We're gonna push that line up a little bit. Okay, this is considered our next guideline. Then what we're gonna do is we closed it halfway, if not all the way, and we are working our way down. So yeah, we did go open, halfway, and then closed. And that should fade us all the way out. And if not, we can take the guard off like I'm doing now to detail anything that was left over. So from now, everything from that bulk line should be faded out. Now remember, we did a number 2. And this is a 1.5 after we have done our 2, all right? So our 2 line was here, and we're taking our 1.5 open right up under that. Now we don't want to create any more lines. From now on, we're just taking lines out. We're not creating any more lines, okay? So this is the number 1 guard. The number 1 guard open. And we're going all the way right up under where we left off with the 1.5. We do 1 guard open, and then 1 guard closed. And you see the fade is starting to come together. Cool, that side looked pretty good to me. And now we're doing the same thing on the other side. This is the 1 guard. And now we switched out the guards, and now this is the half guard. Now to get that last piece of bulk out, clipper over comb. And that clipper over comb is going to blend in that number 2 that we initially debulked with into the rest of the hair. Now, if you notice, the comb is not always touching the skin when I'm doing this. Sometimes I lift the comb up and out just to only cut off a little bit, because maybe that's all I really need to cut off. You see what I'm saying? All right, for the taper, here's our trimmer, and we make that bald line. Shaver, per usual, to clean that up. Now I think what I did here, okay, yeah. So I started to kind of debulk a little bit with clipper over comb, and now we're using the 3 guard. We're taking our 3 guard just to kind of make our fading process easier. So lever open all the way, making that first line. We close it halfway right here, and we're feathering it out. And then we close it all the way, and then we get that bottom line out. You may have to open it again and go back and forth and try to figure it out, but that's the gist. This is the 1.5 guard open. Notice we did a 3 guard first, and then we tried to skip the 2 guard and go straight to the 1.5 open. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It did what I needed it to do, but it wasn't perfect right here, so you'll see me come back later with a 2 guard and clean that area up. So here is our 1.5 guard. No, excuse me. This is our half guard. Half guard open, and once again we're pushing the line up a little bit, and then we close it to get out, to fade out the bottom line that we just got. And I wanted to do a little bit more debulking, so I take my clipper over comb, try to get around the ear, and trying to get this stuff out. So if you remember, like I said earlier, I'm gonna pause it real quick just to explain something right here. Earlier I did a 3 and I tried to fade out right here, and it kind of did it. It was cool. But then I took the 1.5 guard and I tried to blend it in, but it didn't work. Now I kind of have a little bit of choppiness, like kind of like this, because I chose to skip a guard, right? Sometimes it works and you can get away with it. This time it didn't. But I wanted to show this to say that you don't always have to get it perfect right then. You can always go back in detail later, right? As long as you don't do too much, right? So next I take my 2 guard and I'm basically trying to clean that up, clean that mistake up. 2 guard open and then 2 guard closed, like so. And I feel like I did a good job cleaning that up. So now we're back at our 1.5 guard, and we're gonna take our 1.5 guard open, then we're gonna close it, and then we're gonna take our 1 guard after we do this to get this line out. Yep, 1 guard. I went ahead and closed it right off the bat because I felt like there was no need. Now, notice how I'm kind of using the corner because I'm not trying to make another line. When you detailing and you're just trying to get a line out, just use the corner. You don't need to use the entire blade. Just using the corner, trying to clean it up, get it out. That's it. Okay. Now a little trick I always like to do, I like to take the 1 guard and get around the ear right here, just to help me make a crispier line up around the ear. Boom. That's how we do that. All right. So real quick tip is whenever you make these lines, you want to comb the hair this way. Comb the hair to the line like that. Okay. We want hairs to come over this line so that we can cut them off. Because that is how you're gonna make a crispier line, is when you comb the hairs over the line and then cut it. That's how you will get that crispier line that will last a little longer, or if they take a shower, it'll hold, because you've cut everything that would pass that point. Hopefully all of that is making sense for you guys. And then what you do to one side, you're gonna do the other side. I didn't show the other side to save on time. So we're gonna get straight to the hairline. I took a 1.5 guard open and I'm knocking down these hairs, because some of these hairs will like stick up like that. So I cut them down and lay them down, and I take some hairspray, spray some hairspray on there, comb it. I like to comb it with this hair texture because it won't mat it to his forehead. Then I take my blow dryer and I blow dry the hairspray to get it to dry and to hold the hair in place while I do the lineup. Fun fact. I'll tell you the fun fact after this. Now we're doing the lineup. The way I do my lineups is I start in the middle like everybody else, I guess. And I go a little bit to the left, and then I go a little bit to the right, and a little bit to the left, and then I go all the way to the right. Okay? The reason why I go back and forth is I'm picturing a straight hairline on his forehead while I'm doing it, and I'm going back and forth trying to make it as straight as possible. And then I imagine where the corner of his hairline needs to be in order for it to be straight, and I pinpoint that spot on his forehead. So then when I go to do that side, I know where that point is to stop, like right there. That's the point I pictured, and I'm taking it there, and I'm using my imagination to try to create a straight hairline. This is actually his strong side. His other side is a little weaker, and we'll see that, and I'll show you what I did to do this. I know a lot of people tell you to cut the weaker side first. I like to go to my right side always because I'm right-handed, and I just feel like if I do my right side first, it'll keep me from making mistakes. I feel like for some reason, since I'm right-handed, if I go to my left first, I'll make more mistakes on the hairline. Okay, if that makes sense. So I always go to the right first. All right, so let me pause it right here so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is his weak side. Okay, you can see we got this area which is weak. So there are a couple of things that I could have done, but this is the way I choose to do it. As you see, we already cut a little bit of the widow's peak off right here. So I didn't want to push the hairline back, because that's one thing you could do. You could push the hairline back like this. You could do that to cut this off, and it appears to be a strong side. I didn't want to do that because we already pushed some back here with the widow's peak. So what I decided to do is comb it forward as much as possible, and I'm just gonna line it up like this. Boom, boom. That's how I'm gonna line it up, and then I'll just spray this extra with enhancements. That's what I chose to do because the other side is a strong side. If I would have came here and cut like this in here, then the other side I would have had to push it up as well. If I didn't push it up, it would have been looking stupid. Okay, so this is why I chose to do what I did, and a lot of times this is what I always do. You know, I'll just make that mug straight. Unless they tell me to push it back and they want me to push it back, then I'll push it back. Otherwise, I kind of ghost line it and I hit them with them enhancements. All right, so you'll see that's what I'm doing right now. Again, when I'm doing this, I'm standing directly in front of him at eye level, and I'm picturing a straight line on his head based off of where the hair is at. So what I pictured is, I pictured the point right here, and that's where I'm gonna take that line. So that's what I would have done. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think and what you guys would have done in this situation. Fun fact, this guy actually broke my arm. He broke my arm. My arm snapped in half. Literally, I had to go to the hospital. We were sparring MMA. He threw a kick, and I was like, damn, that was a good kick, because it felt like a really good kick. And I didn't think nothing of it. We kept sparring. I tried to take him down, and we land on my left arm, and we heard a snap. I get up, and my arm is like, it's toast. It's toast. This guy broke my arm, man, doing MMA. Anyways, we're still good friends. We're still really good friends. The guys you have the toughest battles with tend to be your best friends. I don't know if any of you guys are fighters, be in the gym like that. But anyway, here's a finished cut. Like it, give it a thumbs up, let me know what you're thinking, and I'll see you guys in the next video.